A lot of parents today ask me how they can help their teen who is struggling with always having to be perfect. Well, in today's video with Dr. E, she tells us some real practical ways that you can better handle your teen who is feeling like they're never good enough.
I wrote a book called Better Than Perfect, 7 Steps to Crush Your Inner Critic and Create the Life You Love. So,
Okay.
and full disclosure, please know that most, I can't say all, but most self-help authors write books for themselves. So my name is Elizabeth. I'm a recovering perfectionist.
Yes.
So and this generation is very perfectionistic. They don't necessarily call it that, but perfectionistic isn't, it's not having a neat junk drawer where every pen is neatly aligned and every paper clip is perfectly stacked. Perfectionism is very simply all or nothing. I'm perfect or I'm a failure, right? I got an A or I failed. I did perfectly in the game, or I made one mistake and so I messed up. And it's really, again, we call it dichotomous thinking, all or nothing thinking. It's very prevalent in this, in our kids' generation because, or one reason is because there's so much comparing. So at the root of perfectionism is comparing, right? They're comparing themselves to others, and they don't compare themselves to others like, oh, the guy who didn't get on the baseball team, hey, I'm really proud of myself. They compare themselves to others and feeling like they fall short. So one thing to consider is that, and you're going to hear a theme because there's so much red zone stuff going on right now. When we're in the red zone, we tend to think more perfectionistic as opposed to when we're in the green zone. When in the green zone, this is when we can be confident. Yeah, I made a mistake, but I know I can handle this. In the red zone, I made a mistake. I'm a failure. So one thing I would say is to help your son or help your child get out of the red zone and stay out of the red zone. The other thing to consider is, so perfectionism is really based on self-worth. How worthy do I view myself? And it tends to be very, what I call conditional self-worth. Conditional self-worth is I believe in myself if and only if certain external conditions are met. And those conditions vary from person to person. So for some people, it may be I get a certain number of likes on social media, or I get certain grades, or I play a certain way, in sports. And if they don't achieve that, they don't feel good about themselves. If they do achieve that, it's good for a minute, but it's almost like being on a treadmill, right? When you're on a treadmill, you got to step forward, but you have to keep stepping forward. And so when they get on this, I call it a treadmill of self-worth. That's what's happening. They're on this constant treadmill of self-worth. So yeah, I did that, but I have to do something again. How do you overcome that? Well, if I was going to give you one thing to do, in addition to helping your child get out of the red zone, if I was going to encourage you to do one thing, or encourage your child to do one thing, it would be to volunteer. Volunteer, to find a cause about which your child is passionate. Doesn't matter if it's animals, kids, elderly, veterans, whatever it is, it's something that they're passionate about. Because when we give to other people who are struggling, when we give our time, our energy, our effort, and we can interact with others, one, we can see how other people are, and we can maybe feel better about our own lives, right? And two, it gives us it gives your child a sense of self-worth that is not conditional. It's really based on just applying their values and helping out another individual or a group of individuals. So volunteering, and I have no doubt that your child's schedule is really busy. It doesn't have to be every week, but just every once in a while, throw those in. That could be really powerful.
I love that one. And I've experienced that in my own life when, for me, even like when you're down or you're having a hard time, if you can go and do something for someone else, all of a sudden, like you said, your problems are so minuscule to what else is going on there. So I love that. If you liked this video on teen perfectionism, then you'll probably like the videos in the playlist right on the screen right now, where we bring in top experts and dive really deep on different topics. So check it out.